Good evening, everyone.
Hello,
Welcome.
hello.
Hello. Welcome to the first episode. Well, not the first episode, but the Culture Geek Network's first 2025 episode. I'm your
Nice.
host, AJ. I've got one of my good buddies here, Mark from Geek Off the Street.
What it
Uh,
do? What it
one of
do?
one of a really great YouTube. Would you guys consider yourselves YouTubers or podcasters?
Definitely, I would say podcasters. I think we consider ourselves podcasters. Is it too soon to be an old school podcaster? Is that even a thing?
I don't even know. I just saw a clip the other day of Tom. I think they say that Tom Green was the inspiration for Joe Rogan. I watched a clip where Tom Green was doing kind of like a YouTube thing with Joe Rogan. He was telling him yeah, I'm doing this off of the internet and you could chat with people. And I think that was the spark for Joe Rogan to start doing his own show.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
But I've
Interesting. And
heard
then Joe Rogan just took it and ran with it.
yeah, I heard it was either Tom Green or what's his name. I'm aging myself here, but Adam Curry from MTV. Do you remember Adam
Adam
Curry,
Kerr.
the
I know that.
DJ?
I know him, but I can't picture him for some reason.
Yeah, they say
I
that
know that name.
like they say Adam Curry was the podcast godfather, but then I also hear Tom Green was the one that kind of really started it all. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Huh,
So
that'd be
how's it
cool.
going,
Do like a
man?
little history. Man, good. Doing okay. Funny enough, it's actually tomorrow is actually my birthday.
Nice, man. Happy birthday! Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And then the other half of my show, Geek Off the Street, my friend Trent, it's his birthday 2 days after that. So he's on
So
the
on Monday.
24th. So yeah, go wrap your head around that.
Do you guys have do you guys celebrate birthdays together or anything like that?
Not the funny thing is I think I mean Trent and we hang out like basically like every week when we do the show. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
that's us hanging out. We're like drinking, laughing, talking about what we love or whatever. So we see each other all the time.
Right.
And the funny thing is I think we like more hung out before we were doing the podcast kind of thing. Because I mean, we've always been friends.
Right.
So like we would, go to conventions together, go get food together, assassinate, government leaders together. That's just how we get down. That's just what we do.
Right. Yeah.
Don't judge us.
Did are you one to not talk about your age or?
Oh, no. I'm gonna be 51.
Oh man,
I'm gonna
I'm
be
getting close
51
to that
tomorrow.
age. Yeah, I'm
Mm.
turning 46 in July. So
Oh, you're just a baby. You're just a
no,
baby.
no, no, no.
I remember when I turned 46.
No, you know
100
what's
years
funny?
ago.
I was watching one of your guys' episodes, and I think someone was talking about how they just turned 30 or 35, and you
Uh-huh.
made a comment like, "Oh, I remember those. I remember when I was that age," and I could totally relate. It's like, man, and
Yeah. No, I love doing that to people. Anytime they say their age, and it's completely respectful. It'll be, like a grown man to be like, yeah, I turned 47.
yeah,
47?
yeah,
What, do you know your colors yet?
yeah.
Yeah, get out of here. Go
I
take
have
that.
some coworkers that are like in their mid 20s, and
Oh
sometimes
boy.
yeah. Well, so the other 2 weeks ago, we had like a team event where we all went bowling together, right? And and I had mentioned the movie Kingpin. You remember that movie?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And I told one of my coworkers, I was like, "Oh yeah, um, watch the movie Kingpin. It's a pretty funny bowling movie." And she was like, "What? What is that?" And I was like, "It's a movie with Bill Murray, Eddie, Woody Harrelson." And she looked it up. She's like, "Oh, I wasn't even born when that movie came out." And I'm like, "Oh, great,
Wow.
yeah."
Yeah. Well, one funny thing too is one of the people that I work with currently, I don't know how it came up or whatever, but like when she was born was when I graduated from high school. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm definitely working with some youngsters.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
funny. Like they're talking languages like they're like I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I don't want to know what you're talking about. Man.
Yeah, sometimes I'll talk to some my younger coworkers, and they like to say, "Yeah, it's a vibe." I'm like, "Yep, it's a vibe."
It sure
Yeah.
is.
They'll say something, and then they'll like, "Yeah, it's a vibe." I'm like, "Yeah, I totally I get it. Yeah, it's a vibe."
Oh
And
man,
and
that's
and
fun.
another thing I always like to bring up is, like, you and I, we come from, like, you know, we remember the early '90s with, like, Tupac and Biggie and stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And I don't know about you, but that was like I was like, what, maybe freshman year high school, I think, sophomore year, and, like, I remember that music vividly.
yeah,
And
yeah,
when I talk to coworkers and I'm like who are younger, I'm like, "Man, all you know is Snoop Dogg is like this funny, goofy uncle, but, like, you
yeah,
don't know that, like, he almost went to jail for killing someone." I'm like, "You don't know you don't realize the impact that, like, Tupac and Biggie had." And,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and in a way, I'll say I don't really say Kurt Cobain because I wasn't big on Nirvana, but, I remember when Tupac and Biggie died and when Aaliyah died. I'm like, "Dude,
Hmm.
those were some moments, in my
Right.
youth."
Yeah, man, we're like really on the same page in that sense because yeah, same way like with the hip hop, R&B, all that kind of stuff, but with Kurt Cobain, I never got into Nirvana, but I mean, for anyone listening before you freak the heck out, I've got the utmost respect for Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. Just when I was coming up, I wasn't into that. I wasn't listening to it.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
said, I have complete respect for what Nirvana did for the music industry. It went from, I mean, they literally just threw up a brick wall for that, like the big hair, 80s glam, hard rock kind of thing, big hair, men dressed in women's clothes. And
yep, yep,
they just said, nope, we're going to get real. And everyone was like, yeah, let's go for the real.
yeah,
So utmost respect, but yeah, just, it wasn't my vibe.
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna try to use that. It's a vibe.
yeah,
I'm gonna see if I'm gonna use that at work, and they're gonna look at me like, "Shut up! What are you talking about right now? You use
yeah.
that
I mean,
wrong."
that's one thing that I like. Oh yeah, it's a vibe. Yeah, okay, sure. I was gonna ask you. I know we talked about it a little bit off prior to coming on the show, but are you guys gonna do WonderCon this year?
You know what? I don't know. We haven't really talked about it. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I went to WonderCon. I know I went for a while. I was going, all the time when it was out here,
Yeah,
but I haven't been in like the at least like well, I mean, COVID came out too, so I think probably since COVID actually, I haven't
right.
been. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind covering it. I could probably, pressure Trent into covering it as well. But
Right, right,
it's
right.
pretty crazy because we would, be there. I think when we did cover these events, the conventions in the past, we also had a third host, RJ. So shout out RJ, was good. So yeah, when it was the three of us working it, or at least two of us, RJ was really the big equipment guy. So it's tricky, like having the camera and making sure everything's the shot's good, the sound's
Right,
good,
right, right,
all that kind of stuff. I mean, again, I love doing it, but they were the ones putting in the hard work, so I can't be too mad if they are a little hesitant with it,
yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But I enjoy doing it. I love just going up to people and start talking to them. That the whole randomness of it. And people are excited to be talked to. That's
Yeah,
always been a big thing about our show. We wanted it to be like a voice for people that don't normally get a chance to have a voice. Like you and I, we get to say how we feel, talk about how we feel. We get to have people listen and comment and everything else in the world, but sometimes people don't get that choice. So
yeah,
people like, having their opinions heard, especially if it's something that they love and they've thought about. So
yeah.
yeah, I enjoy it.
What about Comic-Con? Are you guys gonna? I know that last time we spoke, you guys were still considering about going, right?
Yeah, that would be something I definitely want to do because we went to Comic Con a couple years ago, but it was during the writer's strike and all that, so it wasn't quite as crazy or as hectic, I guess as it normally is. And we went with someone that's kind of got some connections with Comic Con and with Marvel and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if anybody's out there, if you're listening, the Geek Speak Show Volume 2 is out there. Henry, what's up? So yeah, he actually has some connections because he's been like doing podcasting and all that kind of stuff. He's been in radio like his
Oh
whole
wow,
life kind of thing. Yeah.
that's
He's
cool.
the real one. So he's a very good guy, very good guy. And he got us into Comic-Con that year. But yeah, I would love to go and do Comic-Con and get the real experience and maybe get a chance to actually uh director talk to a director, writer, producer, somebody that's making the movies that we are commenting about. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely on the list. I would say like put us down that yes, we are going unless just something crazy happens.
All right, cool.
What
Well
about you?
then,
You gonna go?
yeah, I got my tickets for all 4 days, including preview night. And if you guys are going, we got to meet up for sure because
Oh
it's
yeah.
my birthday weekend. So
Oh,
we-
shut the front door. Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
dope. Okay. Oh, that's gonna be a good birthday then.
yeah. You know what?
We getting messed up.
I'll tell you my first. I think I know. Did I tell you guys the story of my? I know that we were supposed to talk about Fantastic Four, but have I told you about the first time I went to Comic Con? Have I told the story to
Mm-mm.
you guys?
Nuh-uh.
Okay, I'm sure I've said it on previous podcasts that I've been on, but
Okay.
um, the first time I went to Comic Con, I got tickets from a friend. Um, she worked at Fox,
Mm.
and well, my friend's sister, but she's my friend too.
Yeah.
She worked at Fox, and I guess they were doing some promotional stuff. Anyways, they were done working for that weekend, so they had left tickets for me to pick up. And this sounded so cool at the time. They're
Yeah.
like, okay, we got you free tickets, you and a guest. Pick up your tickets at the Hard Rock Hotel. It's going to be, it'll be under your name. So just pick it up there. I'm like, oh man, this sounds so VIP, like I get to go to the convention for free.
Nice.
I'm picking it up at Hard Rock under my name. And I'm like, all right, cool. So me and my buddy go. He's been there a few times before me, but this is my first time, obviously. And we're in the convention, maybe a little past noon. Uh, we decide to go to a restaurant, you know, outside of the convention to go eat.
Mm-mm.
We ended up going into a like a small restaurant bar, and they were having an event, like a like an event where a bunch of media people were there, and they were giving out free like drink tokens, right? So if you were part of the media, you got two drinks for free, right?
Nice.
So we're there. Uh, you know, we start we start just chit chatting with the people in the restaurant, and as some of these people were leaving, they're leaving us their tokens, right? Because I end up telling them we're just chit chatting,
Cool.
and I'm saying, "Oh yeah, it's my birthday." And they're, "Oh, that's cool." And then as they're leaving us their tokens. Okay. This event also had Data from Star Trek, Brent Spiner.
Oh, Brent Spine. Yeah, wow, nice.
So he was there, like just taking pictures with fans, and the line was not long. It was maybe
Wow.
10 people. Like when we were up, when we got in, there's maybe 5, 6, 7 people in front of us, right? So we
Uh,
got to like take a picture with him, chit chat with him for a little bit, you know?
yeah, geez Louise.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's
Anyways,
man.
so we're at this bar. We get to take a picture with Brett Spiner. We get to talk to him for a little bit, and then we get all these free drinks. So I'm starting to get pretty messy.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all, I'm starting to get loose. No, I'm messy. I'm saying I'm
Yeah.
picking fights. Okay.
Well, okay. So
Oh my
here's
God.
here's the kick to the story. So we were supposed to go back into the convention, but by the time we left the restaurant, it was dark, and I don't know
Mm,
what time it was, but we were like, forget it. We'll just come back tomorrow. So now we're walking around Gaslamp, and we're just bar hopping, me and my buddy.
mhm.
And as I'm walking out of one of the bars, you know when you walk out of Gaslamp, there's like a sea of people just walking down the streets.
Uh,
And I'm talking to my friend. I'm like, look at all these people, all these like geeks and nerds, just having the time of their lives, right?
uh,
And me, I was like, I was telling my friend, where were they during the dark times?
yeah, yes, yes. Preach.
And as people were walking by, I kept like yelling, "Where were you during the dark times? Where were you
Right.
during the dark times?"
Right. Say thank you to people like me for
Yeah.
right. Yes, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
And my buddy was like, "Man, you like the next day or like a week later when we were talking about the convention, he was like, "Man, you were so like emotional and so like so heartfelt about how like how you were stating where were all these people during the dark times." I'm like, "Well, you know what? It's the truth. Like in
It's
high
the
school,
truth.
I had to hide it. I really had to hide it."
Right. Right. So yeah, same thing. I mean, I went to a pretty small school, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was definitely like a nerd or a geek. You know what I mean? I looked like Urkel. You know that was
Oh
my
man.
if there was any celebrity that I looked like, it was Urkel. So yeah, that's 100% the truth because there was a point in time when knowing about Spider-Man's origin and you know what I mean and
Yeah.
what Captain America's shield is actually made of. Like people would have looked at you funny. You know what I mean? I made the joke on my show a few times that like especially if you're into like anime and all that kind of stuff, like
Yeah.
we were like underneath like the Star Trek geeks, and I'm a Star Trek geek. Let me say that right out of the gate. But if that is like the lowest rung, we were underneath them. You know, just the stuff that we're into, being into like comics and all that.
Yeah.
It wasn't popular. It wasn't a thing back then. And now if you know about that stuff, you can probably have people around you listening like, oh yeah, what's this about Captain America? Tell me more about Captain Marvel and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a whole different it's a different vibe. You know, I'm glad that people can be into what they're into and they don't really have to, hide it or keep it private or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's 100% the truth, man. If we were doing that foundational work, if it wasn't for us, like just still being geeks and still being
Yeah.
fans and holding it down, there's no telling if it'd be here right now.
Yeah. I remember in high school, I had to do like some sort of presentation about something, and I actually used Ninja Scroll as part of my
Oh,
like it was something about animation or something, and I
uh-huh.
and I used Ninja Scroll as my presentation,
Oh boy.
and I showed uh, a clip of it to the class,
Yeah.
and I remember everyone's reaction like, "Dude, what is this? This is nothing like I've ever seen before." Like the animation was, at that time that
It's
was
fantastic.
it was, yeah, yeah. and the violence and the
Yeah.
blood, like they were like, this is a different type of cartoon.
Right.
Yeah.
Welcome to the real world, man. Trying to trying to open your eyes, man. Trying to
Yeah.
get you to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. And I could
Yeah.
I remember showing it, and I could see like the dudes in class, like their eyes lit up like this is
Nice.
this is this is something that I've
Nice.
never been exposed to and I want to see more of.
Yes. Good job, man.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we talked about Ninja Scroll before, like, how that's one of our favorites. I think I was really like just I remember watching it like it was late at night, everybody else was in bed asleep. And I remember that scene where I can't remember the guy's name now, but the rock guy when he throws that, that giant spear thing he has and he
Yeah.
hits everybody. And then you see like the top portion of somebody's, it's like a close-up of his body hit the ground and you're looking at it, and then blood comes down like rain. And it was like,
Yes,
that is
yes, yeah.
such genius. It was such animation genius. It blew me away. And again, I've been watching anime for like 10 plus years at that point in time. That's like back in the 90s. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is something different. This is something different. I think, yeah, that was I believe that was the scene that was like that just made me like drop my jaw. And then it just got better and better. Man, I need to watch that again. That was
Yeah, I do
spot
too.
on.
I have it on DVD, so I gotta. I don't know where if it's streaming anywhere, but I have the DVD, so I probably gotta pick it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I know I saw that they have the animated series that they made in Ninja Scroll. I know that's streaming somewhere. I
Oh,
can't remember.
that's terrible though. Don't
Yeah,
don't
I
watch.
didn't even bother watching it. I didn't even bother watching.
I mean, there's been
Didn't
so
even.
many rumors that they're supposed to do a sequel, but
Hmm.
it's never come around. So
Yeah, with this much time in between, I would have said no. But it seems like even like Japan's doing the whole nostalgia thing a little bit too. Like they're grabbing like old products and bringing them out. I have well, this was actually a couple years ago, but they had a it was Mazinger Z. In America, it was called Translor Z. That might be a little bit before your time.
yeah, I'm
I
not
think.
familiar with that actually.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay. Because Translor Z was it was okay. Well, obviously it's an anime. The cool thing about Translor Z or Mazinger Z as the actual title is that's the first anime ever to have a robot being piloted by somebody. Obviously, like a young kid, like a teenager.
Wait, so
But
that's before like
whatever,
Robotech and
whatever you're about to say, it's before all of it. It's
wow.
before all of it. So yeah, because before that they had things like I want to say Giant Robo. I want to say like Get a Robo or like something. I can't Giant something 28. But anyways, the robots were robots. They were just giant robots and they had their own autonomy. They did their own thing. But yeah, Mazinger Z was the first one where it was actually piloted by somebody. So the craze started with that. So, but my point was, yeah, I've seen Japan kind of redid it. There's a couple other things. Well, I think they redid Rurouni Kenshin. Like they made a new animated series of that's on probably like on Crunchyroll or maybe it's on Netflix actually.
Really, a whole new. So it's
Whole
different.
new one.
Is it the same story
I don't
retold or?
That I'm not sure of because I haven't watched it, but I want to say it's like the same story, and they just have it with better animation. There's another one that came out called Ramna One Half,
I remember
which
that
was
one.
by
Yeah.
the same. Yeah, I loved that one. That was one of the things me and my friends were into. It's the same author. She also made Inuyasha. So yeah, they redid Ramna One Half. So you can go on Hulu and you can watch it's the animation's crisper,
Yeah.
better, some of the action looks a little bit better, but yeah, even Japan's doing the whole, nostalgia bait thing right now too. So I don't know. I'm curious. I don't know if that's if they saw America doing it and they said, hey, let's do that too.
Yeah.
Because, obviously we're doing it like crazy over here. Uh, to a point where it's like, okay, guys, stop. We're not having as much fun as we used to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you just slap that title on something, somebody's going to go watch it. So I'm wondering if it's a coincidence or if Japan's looking at, the movie market in Japan is looking at America's movies and like, well, they're doing it, so let's do it too.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask you, did you end up watching the Attack on Titan movie?
No, I started to watch it, the Japanese one, right? The Japanese live
The-
action one.
No, no, no. It came out this past month. Essentially,
This past month.
yeah, it was an anime. It really was just a compilation of, I think, the last few episodes, and they put it all together and cut out some of they put it pretty much made a movie out of the best parts of like the final battle, I believe.
Really? No,
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that.
And I guess I watched there's a post credit scene at the end,
Uh
and I
huh.
watched it. It's nothing. I mean, you can watch it online, but it's basically the three main characters as if they were high school students
Oh,
watching the Attack on
yeah.
Titan anime.
Okay. I've heard of that.
Yeah,
I have heard of that. I didn't know that, or maybe I just forgot that it's all put together in one big movie. I did hear about that though. Okay,
yeah.
so I haven't seen it. Is that on like Crunchyroll or?
Well, the movie itself, it came out in theaters, I think, for like 1 or 2 days in February. I missed it.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
sure it's
okay,
gonna stream somewhere, but you can watch
okay,
the end credits on YouTube.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Now I'll definitely watch. I'll definitely watch.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
only
still.
like 3 minutes, so
Oh, okay, okay, okay. It's just like a cool little thing. Yeah. No, I
yeah,
did hear about that. I did hear about it.
yeah. Um, I know that you're a comic book guy, and on your guys' show, you don't talk too much about comic books.
Hmm.
I'm kind of I am a comic book guy, but I've fallen off for the past year or so. But
Yeah.
are you still reading comic books right now?
No, you know what? When I was in North Carolina over the past weekend and I did buy some comic books. I think the last time I bought comic books before that was probably like a good, I don't know, like maybe a good 5 or 6 months before that. So I'm really not into I shouldn't say I'm not into it, but I just haven't, picked up or bought or followed
Right,
anything in a long time from like Marvel or DC. I know when we first started doing the podcast, that was one of the things that we kept trying to bring up. We brought in like these are like the picks of the week kind of thing. So
right. Yeah, yeah,
RJ and Trent had a really good selection of not just Marvel and DC comics, but a lot of the crazy indie comics. I think Trent was the first one to tell me about. There's a comic book called "Something's Killing the Children." That,
yes, yes, yes,
yeah,
yeah,
I haven't read it yet, but I got the whole series, and yeah, he swears by it. You know what I mean? He says it's a really great story, and they were supposed to be turning it into a live action thing. I think
yeah.
Netflix had the rights
Netflix,
to it.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so I don't know where that's at. But yeah, I am a fan of comics. I read it a lot more when I was younger, but yeah, I haven't picked up anything in a long time, but I'm still a fan. I do want to bring that back to the show where we start dealing with comic books a little bit more.
What was the last? Because you said the last book you picked up was like 5, 6 months ago, prior to this past weekend.
Yes, yeah. And what I did was I got the whole entire series of Something's Killing the
Oh,
Children.
that's what you got. Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't had a chance to. I mean, well, I could make the time, but I haven't read it all yet. So I think I started reading the first one. And I kind of put it down and got busy and kept on, trucking. I think the last thing that I read in its entirety, which we covered on, I think we covered on the show, was actually, I mean, just to give you an idea, was the God Butcher story, Gore the God Butcher.
Oh, Donny Cates. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that was, man, that was like some of the best like comic book stuff I've read in a minute. It was a great story. There was like this danger and intrigue to it. There was no, automatically, oh well, the good guy's going to win. All of that was up in the air because it takes place so far in the future. They can do whatever they want
Yeah.
basically,
Oh,
but
oh,
also
wait.
takes place in the past, the present.
You're talking about Thor, right?
Oh yeah, Thor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
Thor. Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, I think
so
I.
that's yeah, Jason Aaron, right?
Yeah,
I think
let me
yeah.
see. You're probably right.
Is it
You
Jason
probably know
Aaron?
more than I do. But
Yeah.
no, it was yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I thought that was it was, yes, it just meta. Like it even like kind of talked about like current religion, like
Yeah.
today's religion. It got really deep. So yeah,
And
but
the
no, we
art
definitely need to cover that. Go. I'm sorry. Say it again.
yeah, I was gonna say the art on that run was really good. I think it's
Yeah,
he said Rebick, I think his name was.
that does sound right, actually.
Yeah. I said Donny
Yep.
Cates only because Donny Cates created Noel, who has I forgot what the
Oh.
relation is, but there's some he made it tie into that story somehow. It's been
Right.
a
Yeah.
while.
Null's
Yeah.
the he's like the god of the symbiotes or something, or
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, the necro sword is
That's it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's where it makes its debut, I guess. And I swear I'm willing to bet money that when they were doing this Thor and the God Butcher story, that they weren't saying, "Oh, we can do like one day we'll turn this sword and we'll link it up with the symbiotes or whatever." I think
Yeah,
somebody just said, "It might work is if we do this and we do this and we connect it." And like everybody was like, "Yeah, let's do that," kind of thing.
yeah,
If I had to make a guess.
yeah. I mean, the guy who created Noel, Donny Cates, for a while, he was the it writer. He was everything he wrote was a hit. But
Mm,
he hasn't been writing for a while. I really thought that with the new Venom movie that came out, and with Noel being in it, that his creative juices would come back and he would start writing again. But
hmm.
I think from what I understand, he's going through some personal things too. So I mean,
Oh man.
yeah. But I mean, yeah. If you ever get the chance, Donny Cates' Venom run was really good.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and it does tie into like I said, like you already knew the Necrosword and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Well, speaking of comic book stuff, and I know you guys are movie guys too. I wanted to segue into the Fantastic Four trailer. We both
There it is.
watched it
Yeah.
before going on live. Wanted to ask you your thoughts of what you saw.
Well, actually I liked it. I liked it. I mean, one, I like a period piece. I like something that takes place in a different time and it's done well kind of thing. So you can tell, and I don't think it's a surprise at this point in time that it kind of takes place in this alternative 60s
That's what I
kind
was
of.
gonna say. So it's all alternative universe in the '60s, right?
Right, yeah. So it's like
Okay.
60s esque.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so it seems like it's almost like a and I'm this probably isn't a term, so I'm just gonna we're gonna coin it right now for the show. Is
All
it's
right.
kind of future punk, right? So it seems like because it's still 60s, but they're doing more than you know what could be done in the 60s kind of thing. It has that
Yeah.
vibe, it has the styles to it. That like the cars have like that fishtail,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
crazy stuff sticking out. So I love that. I love that. Um, I I was a little curious about Pedro Pascal.
Right.
Obviously he's a great actor and he's in basically everything right now. Almost to a point where I think he's getting cast in like too much. Like it doesn't seem like it's that great of a fit, but it actually looked pretty good or
Yeah.
sounded pretty good in this trailer. So I'm okay with him being, because whenever I think of or see Pedro Pascal, I think I go to Prince Oberyn Martell. Did you watch
Yeah.
Game of Thrones?
Yep. I'd watch Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever I see him, I just assume he's like, he's got this like Castilian, Spanish accent kind of thing, and which is not the case. He's just a very good actor.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I could
I
see
think
that. I could see that. Yeah.
I'm so imprinted on him as Oberon Martel.
Do you think, and getting ahead of myself here, you have you read any of the Secret War like
I re-
theories?
I read a little bit. I think I've got one of the comic books. I think I got the one, the like the trade where it kind of comes to an end, where they all show up on Earth, and you can't tell, like, they got a bunch of scrolls. They got, a bunch of
Yeah.
our heroes, and Stark thinks he might be a scroll. And
Oh, okay. The Secret Invasion one, right?
okay, Secret Invasion. Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Because I've been reading that. So the next big Marvel event is supposed to be the Secret Wars, right?
uh-huh.
And it's going to bring all the universes together, or all these different universes together, right?
Hmm.
And are you familiar with the evil Reed Richards?
Oh wow, an evil Reed Richards? I
Yeah.
am not.
Okay.
Not this isn't the Illuminati Reed Richards, right? I assume, or
No, no, not the
okay,
Illuminati Reed
okay.
Richards.
Wow,
This
an
Reed
evil one.
Richards is from no, I believe he's from You know how like Miles Morales is originally from a different Marvel universe?
Right, right, right.
I think he's that Reed Richards,
Oh wow.
and he's called the Maker, right?
Oh boy.
Now I read that, and this is all theories, that Miles Teller. Remember how he was in Fantastic Four, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He is going to be the Maker whenever they bring all these universes
Oh my
together.
god, this is getting crazy.
Yeah,
Man, I would love it if they were to do that. If they could tie that in, that would be nuts.
yeah.
That would be nuts.
I mean, you know what's crazy, and we're going, it's on still the topic of Fantastic Four, but I recently watched this thing on YouTube about the original Fantastic Four movie, the one that Marvel said didn't exist, but finally came
Yes.
out, right? I would love, because I don't know if I don't think anyone really knew, because I watched this little short documentary on them. But from my understanding, the actors, the directors, all thought that they were making a legit movie, and they were very
Mm,
passionate about the movie.
yeah.
Now, the theory goes, or the conspiracy theory is, the producers knew that they were not going to release the movie, but they had to make something so that they still had the rights to it.
Mm,
And now,
okay.
once the movie came out, the four actors were doing press junkets, really pushing the movie. And I think even at some point they were even paying their own dime to promote the movie.
Wow.
Yeah. And obviously it never came out.
Hmm.
I kind of feel like there should be justice where, like, maybe if there is a Secret Wars where there's going to be all these multiverse, characters, they've got to put them in some sort of cameo.
Uh-huh. Kind of like with like a Deadpool Wolverine,
Yeah.
when they started bringing out like stuff you didn't know anything about.
Yeah. Only because it like when I watched this documentary, I was like, man, that kind of sucks for them, because
Yeah.
they really believed in the movie, and they knew that it was campy, but the from what I understand, it was supposed to premiere at San Diego Comic Con, and it got pulled.
Mm,
And like I said, the director and the cast, they kind of got screwed in a sense, because they put in a lot of work, and then
yeah.
they don't get anything for it.
Yeah, no, that does suck. I hate to hear about that in movies too, where like the cast, like they're taking it seriously. The cast, the directors, they're trying to make it work. And then yeah, the higher ups are like, nah, that's not working for us, or we're gonna end up doing this with it. I remember hearing something similar, a little bit similar, like with the He-Man movie, the Master of the Universe movie that came out like back in the early
with Dolph
90s, I
Lundgren.
want to say. Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, the guy that was playing Skeletor, like he took it really seriously, and like the way they cut it and edited it didn't. He was disappointed with it. I'll put it that way, because he was really trying to bring this character to life.
Right.
So yeah. No, I hear what you're saying though. Yeah, I hate hearing about that. It's like the rug just got pulled out from under them. You know what I mean? And a lot of these actors, I'm sure they're probably thinking like this might be the thing that jumpstarts my career.
Yeah, exactly.
And then nothing happens with it. It's like, man, this months of my life, gone. I've got nothing to show for it.
Yeah. Do you remember the movie The Boy Who Could Fly?
The Boy Who Could Fly. It sounds familiar. Is that it's a Disney movie? Came out like in the 80s?
Yeah, it's an 80s movie. It might have been a Disney movie. It might have been a Disney movie. I
Okay.
remember watching it a lot when I was a kid because I was on HBO. But
Yeah.
the kid who that character, he was the guy who played Johnny Storm in
Oh,
that Fantastic Four movie, and I'm like, oh man, I'm sure that guy was thinking like, okay, I was in The Boy Who Could Fly, which was I think it was a moderate hit, and then now he's gonna play Johnny
yeah.
Storm,
Mhm.
and he's probably thinking this could really, get my career
This
really on track.
Yeah, this is it, and then nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hollywood's crazy. I mean, just from what I've heard, and because this isn't the first time I've heard stories like that. What about
Yeah.
what was it, Batwoman
Batgirl?
movie that they made a couple years ago, or was it Batgirl that they made a
Yeah.
couple years ago? And like they said they're never gonna release it. Like
At
that's
this
just gotta
Yeah.
suck for her. You know what I mean? She probably took it very seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was supposed to be in a sense well, first of all, Michael Keaton, that was his comeback as Batman.
Oh, really? In that movie?
Yeah, that was I know that he was in Flash, but he had filmed scenes as Batman in that
Oh,
Batgirl
wow.
movie. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was supposed to be Brandon. Oh man, did I lose you?
Oh, oh, for a split, yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah, it
for a
looked
second
like
there, yeah,
yeah.
you're
But yeah, it was supposed to be Brandon Fraser's like comeback movie in a
uh,
sense. Yeah. But I mean, at this point, I think like years have passed. I think they should just release that background movie, put on HBO Max.
yeah, I would love to see it. I bet a lot
Yeah,
of people would love to see it just for that reason alone. It'd probably be the number one movie on HBO Max, at
yeah,
least for a
yeah,
little while, just for that reason.
yeah, yeah. But back to Fantastic Four. I mean,
Yeah,
do you have any theories on what the movie's about? Because they don't. I mean, like we don't know who the antagonist is. They show
yeah,
Galactus at the end, but there's no way that that's who they're going to
yeah. No, they're going, yeah,
take.
going right off the deep end.
Yeah, I don't think they've. Well, I haven't really researched the movie, but
Yeah.
I mean, is Doctor Doom in it?
Not that I'm aware of. He might make one of those, at the end cameos, or maybe
Yeah.
like a bonus scene at the end. I do remember hearing talk about them having a female Silver Surfer.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah,
The
everyone's kind of
girl.
forgotten about that. I'm
Yeah,
assuming it's going to be in this movie, or maybe they
yeah,
got it keyed up for the second one, but maybe because they didn't show her, or didn't show, which I don't have a problem with.
yeah,
Have a little bit of mystery. I don't know how I feel about, I wish, because Silver Surfer is like, he's one of my favorite characters too. I would like to see Silver Surfer, in a better movie. I'll put it that way. But seeing Norrin Rad, so maybe Silver Surfer is going to be in it, and they're just keeping it under wraps, which is cool. Um, yeah, but as far as like who the big bad, or who the bad is in that, I don't know. Maybe they are going to do that. Maybe they are just going to go right off the deep end. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, like I don't even know how. Well, here's the thing: if you've got Galactus, you have to have
Silver
Silver
Surfer.
Surfer. Yeah. So
True.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
and
very true.
and I don't know. Did you ever watch Ozark?
No, I haven't. I heard it's good,
Yeah,
but I haven't seen it. And
the
I love Jason
girl.
Bateman, so
Yeah, the girl, one of the ladies on that movie or in that TV show is supposed to
she's the surfer.
surfer. Yeah, so I mean,
Okay.
she's a great actress, so I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
seeing her, in more movies. So yeah,
Right on. Right on.
I'm open minded to see how it goes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if they can do it and it works, then I'll be the first one to be giving them a standing ovation. And the thing is too, and because I've thought about this with other characters, that people always talk about, gender swap and race swapping and all that kind of stuff. And I get the argument, but you know, Silver Surfer's gender has never been part of his character
Yeah,
kind of thing. So it's not like it's got to be a man if it's going to be the Silver Surfer. It's like the Silver Surfer is supposed to be this enigmatic, tortured soul
yeah, yeah,
kind of thing. So as long as they kind of hit that up, then let's see what they do. Like I said, if they can make it work, that's the only thing I care about. Is I just want to see a good movie. The
yeah.
end.
Do you think that okay? Were you impressed with the trailer, and do you think the movie's going to be good?
Hmm. Actually, I am impressed with the trailer only because. Well, let me say this. I like the trailer. You really don't see a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of like action or anything to really get you excited or fired up. There's no cool action scenes or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, we get to see Galactus, which or a little hint of Galactus, which a lot of people are going to be fans of, but there's nothing really exciting, so to speak, in it other than we see Galactus.
yeah.
But I do like the style of the way the film looks. Like I said, this whole like this
The
uh
aesthetic of it.
exactly. Yeah, so that future punk that they got going on with yeah, I'm still coining that phrase. We're running with it. We're running with it. We invented it here. We invented it here.
All right, I'll take it.
Take it. Yeah, so I like that feel to it, that it's like it's the 60s. It's just been like dialed up to 11. I like that. The actors all look and sounded great. I was hoping for a little bit more of a gravelly voice
For
for the
Ben Grimm.
thing for Ben Grimm.
Oh
Yeah, because
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
how. I mean, and they don't have to do it, obviously, and they obviously did not do it. But he's always been established as having like this, this kind of rocky, gruff
yeah,
kind of sounding voice. So I would have liked to have seen that, but it's like I said, it's not going to necessarily break the movie. He just doesn't sound as tough as he should. It's almost like in anime where when it goes from like a sub to dub, you know what I mean? Like
mm,
Ninja Scroll. I've seen Ninja Scroll subbed and dubbed. He sounds like a real man in the Japanese version. You know what I mean? He's got
right,
that.
right, yeah,
He sounds tougher. He's got more bass in his voice. And then we got the dubbed version, and it's a little softer. So just that changes the character. It changes it a lot, in my opinion. Even if they're saying and doing the same stuff for the most part,
yeah,
yeah, the way he sounds, it has an impact on how he's like perceived. So I would have liked
yeah.
to have seen like a little bit tougher voice, I suppose,
Right, right, right.
for Ben.
Do you think and I'm maybe getting a little ahead of ourselves here. So when this whole Secret Wars comes out and all these new universes are all supposed to collide, do you think that there's going to be a complete reset where like this is going to fold like this Fantastic Four is going to fold into the current MCU, or are they going to be like in their own universe still? Because I'm not I'm trying to figure out what
What their end
MCU,
game?
yeah, no pun intended. Yeah, but what their end game is.
Exactly.
Because I mean, okay, so you haven't seen Captain America, right?
That is correct. I have not.
Um, I mean, do you care about spoilers or anything like that?
Oh boy. Well, all right, go for it, man. Go for it. I mean, I'm
I
gonna
mean,
watch it no matter what. So
okay, so and I'll just this is the one little spoiler that I'll tell you. Do you know how like do you remember at the end of what is it, the Eternals, that big whatever creature
yeah,
thing comes out of the ocean?
the I can't believe I'm mad. I can't think of their names right now.
The Celest is this
Yes, the
Celestial? Yeah,
Celestials. Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, his name's like Adamant or something like that. Or
yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yes, I
So
remember.
so Captain America ties this all in to that movie where that being or that ocean where all that stuff happened is where adamantium is found.
Oh, Oh boy.
Yeah, so in Captain America, um, they start researching that area, that being, and they find they discover adamantium.
Oh
So
wow.
here's a weird thing though. So in the MCU, adamantium is just being discovered, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
But in the Deadpool movie, adamantium was already a thing. So that's where
Yes.
I'm like, I'm confused now. So
Hmm.
because Deadpool is supposed to be part of MCU, right?
I'm gonna say no because I mean he's part of the man yeah, it's hard to say, right? Because they've established him. And oh no, I take that back because yeah, in this last movie they talked about the what is it, the TVA
Yeah, TVA.
or whoever those guys are. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean the TVA, that's I mean that can branch into anything basically. That's
yeah,
the way that works. So I mean now it's part of that world, but I mean, before I would have said it's its own world. I wouldn't have even necessarily connected it to yeah, it's really hard to say because they do have some X-Men, some, they have Colossus in there and all that kind of stuff, but you
yeah.
never hear about or see anybody else.
And the thing that confuses me now that they're just discovering adamantium now. Well, Deadpool in the beginning of the movie was trying to join the Avengers. So if he's trying to join the
Uh,
Avengers, but he's not,
that's right, huh?
yeah. So he's not part of the MCU, or was that a different like,
Maybe it's a
ver-
different reality.
yeah? Is
Yeah.
that a different reality of the MCU? So
Wow,
he,
wow. It's
so
got
they
to be,
haven't,
right?
yeah, because then that means he's not actually part of the MCU yet.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Because I
Yeah,
mean, if that's the case, then the world that Deadpool came from that had the X-Men and it had the Avengers in it. So
exactly. Yeah, so that world had the X-Men and the Avengers. So, but the MCU that we know doesn't have any of them then because they're
right,
just discovering adamantium.
yeah. Oh, that's
But
gonna be weird. Yeah,
yeah, that's what I was like, because I was thinking about it like, so I don't understand where, and maybe I need to rewatch Deadpool, and maybe somehow he got retconned into the MCU without the X-Men being in it. But yeah, it's totally confusing me now.
yeah. And the weird thing is, like, whenever they're ready to tie it all together, I mean, they can just make up whatever they want. Like, yeah, this world they didn't have adamantium. This world they do have adamantium. This world adamantium comes from a celestial. So
Yeah.
they can basically do whatever they want with it. So oh wow,
And
so they introduced adamantium to this world.
they
Interesting.
yeah, so but then here's another thing. So if they're introducing adamantium into this current MCU now,
Mhm.
that means theoretically, if they continue using this MCU, and I have a theory, but if they're going to use this MCU, that means you're never going to see like the Avengers versus X-Men because Stark is dead, Captain America
Mm.
is theoretically dead of old age, right?
Yeah.
So you're never going to see like Cyclops and Wolverine interact with Tony Stark,
Mhm.
um, or Steve Rogers.
Yeah. Yeah, and that ship has sailed. The only way that they could do that is if they do like just like a big retcon, and they can either do two things. They can go to an alternate universe and bring back Captain Rogers and all that, or Captain America and Tony Stark, but it can't be the same actors. They'd have to get brand new actors for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, who's going to be excited to see that? I don't know. At some point in time, you can start all that over again. That's what comics do. They retcon everything. So at some point, by all means, retcon everything. Have a new Tony Stark, a new actor playing Captain America, do all that stuff all over again. But I feel like it's too soon to do something like that. So yeah, we're not going to see, Cyclops and Wolverine interacting with Captain America and Iron Man. That's definitely, that ship has sailed.
But so here's my theory, and you never read the Secret Wars event that happened like maybe was it maybe a little maybe 10 years ago in Marvel, where that's how they brought
Mm.
in like Miles Morales to the
Okay,
616.
yeah, I heard about that. I heard about it, but yeah, I didn't read
Yeah.
it though. Yeah,
Okay, so basically, long story short, they wanted Miles Morales in the
the main
the
continuity.
the
Yeah,
main continuity. So what they did is, they had an event, and really it was a big event just to bring all those characters in that other all the popular characters on that from that other world to the
yeah,
main continuity, which was basically Miles Morales.
right.
My theory is the current MCU that we see in the movies, it's going to be one of two things. Something's going to happen where everything merges into one, or the bigger thing would be is if somehow they kill off this entire MCU in this whatever event.
Oh wow.
And then if in fact Deadpool is in a universe where the Avengers and the X-Men are in one universe, that will be the new main universe.
Oh geez, Louise. I mean, because they definitely have a lot of stuff to grab and put together and merge. That man, that I hear that. I wonder, does that seem like it's too big or too bold of a move? You know what I mean? To almost, I don't want to say to scrap the like the Marvel universe, so to speak, that we've all been watching for the past, like, I don't even know, like 10, almost 10 years, 13 years, whatever, how crazy it
Even
is,
longer than
2008.
that. I mean, if you
Yeah.
really think about,
Or yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's gonna be like 20 years almost. Yeah.
yeah, if you think about the original Hulk movie, right? That's part of this
Yeah.
continuity. Yeah, I
Wow,
mean,
that'd be
I would say that would be a really big boost to if Marvel movies are not making money, that will bring back the
oh
attention for people to
yeah,
come
yeah.
come watch their movies now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If there's a crazy enough event, something,
Yeah,
they essentially drop a nuke on the
yeah.
franchise.
I mean,
That'll be big fun.
I don't know if they would do that, but
Yeah,
it could happen. And I also think that why not? Why wouldn't they? Because I mean, if Robert Downey is going to play Doctor Doom in some alternate universe,
hmm,
I mean, why not just kill off everyone in this current MCU? Because to be fair, to be completely honest, there's no one carrying the torch right now.
yeah, yeah. That's true. That's
Yeah,
true. Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, they. I don't even know how they can find someone to do that, because I don't even know if. I mean, so Robert Downey Jr. is playing a villain or a bad guy in this, and sure, he's got plenty of charisma and or Riz, as the kids say. He's got plenty of
yeah,
the
yeah. It
Riz,
is.
and that's not cap. I swear that's true. So that's the extent of my modern day kid lingo.
Right, right, right.
Um, yeah, I don't know. They. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know, because in my opinion, I think it's going to be hard to find someone that's going to be like the new, like, banner carrier for the MCU, because everyone is still pretty much in love with, RDJ
Yeah.
and Chris Evans kind of thing. So
Yeah.
unless they just, maybe like you're saying, kill everyone off, or just do a major retcon, just end it, take a few years off, and bring it back again. And you might, by that point in time, you probably have a new generation of people, that are ready to, watch Captain America and Iron Man again.
Yeah.
Because
And
right now, go ahead, go ahead.
no, no, go ahead. I have a theory, but go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say right now, as far as like the world is concerned, RDJ and Chris Evans are the two people. You know what I mean? So if you
Hmm.
try to replace them right now, no one's gonna like it. So
Yeah. I also have another theory where, because when we think of Wolverine, we obviously think of Hugh Jackman, right?
right, right.
And I mean, I'm sure if they threw enough money at him, he'll go on some crazy diet, take whatever supplements he's got to stay ripped. But I mean,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's got to be close to 60, if not 60 already.
maybe. Yeah, that's a very
Yeah.
good point. He's no spring chicken.
Yeah. And I would think that the best thing to do is, if in this big event where they've got Robert Downey as Doctor Doom, and there's this big event where all of them are going to tie in together, that everyone just dies, that they kill everyone off, a big sacrifice, and then, like, the ending credits is they show this new world where they've got all, like, a new Cap, a new Tony Stark, a new Wolverine, all of them, like a brand new cast, and this is
Hmm.
their introduction to, like, these are the new actors to play these characters for the next 10, 15,
50
20
years,
years.
right?
Yeah. That's the only way I think, like, they bring all the actors that we know that play all these characters.
Mhm.
Like, even if you bring back the original X-Men, like Patrick Stewart and, like, James Marsden and all of them, all of one big event, they all sacrifice their life. Something resets where a new universe, a new world is born, and then it's all the same characters with new actors.
Hmm. That's a pretty bold. That'd be a pretty bold move, a big move to make. It seems like a lot of times people don't like when the characters, so to speak, are killed off is the thing, right? Like I'm remembering the last James Bond movie that came out with Daniel Craig. Is that his name? Like,
Yeah,
spoilers if you haven't seen it. In 3, 2, 1, they killed James Bond, and like nobody was happy about that.
yeah,
So to if they were to, quote unquote, like murder everybody in the in the universe, and they've done a lot to establish this universe. When you think about all the movies, all the TV series,
yeah,
the animated stuff, they've made a sizable investment in it just to kind of wipe it all out. They're gonna have to do that eventually, is the
yeah.
thing, you know.
I mean,
Um,
because I don't know how you're gonna have, like, Tony Stark interact with the X-Men, or Captain America interact with the X-Men,
mhm.
because they're gone.
Right, right, right. Yeah, exactly, exactly. I
So
honestly, yeah, I don't know how it could happen right now. We're not gonna be able to see that. Um, yeah, I maybe they'll do that, but at this point in time, I'm thinking that's just not in the cards, because a lot of cards have already been played, and they're off the table. So what I would like to see is, tell your stories, give them a happy ending, take a break for a few years, and then just start all over again. Just like I said, do like a big comic book retcon kind of thing. I think a big reason why they would not do that is because I don't think Marvel/Disney would want to take a break, because
yeah,
everything that we're seeing right now is, I mean, they're going to try to milk this established world as much as they can, because
yeah,
they don't have to like stop that and start all over again. they want to keep it going because there's so much they can mine out of Marvel. It's ridiculous. Even like Iron Man at one point in time was more like a B character,
Yeah,
and within the Marvel universe, and now he's like, the main guy or one of the main guys. So yeah, I don't. That's the only issue with. I shouldn't say the only issue, but one of the issues with my thinking for how they should do it is, there's no way they're gonna want to stop making Marvel content when there's even taking a break to start over. I don't know if they would do that. So I don't know.
I mean, unless they'd go like a DC route and they just say like, this movie is not related to this other movie. Like Christopher Nolan's movie is not related to,
Oh yeah.
this Superman movie that was coming out around that time or whatever. Like
Right.
they
True.
just say it's all different alternate universes. I mean,
Yeah.
but that's not. That could just confuse a lot of people though, because they'll be like, "Wait a minute, I don't understand."
Yeah. I
How,
wouldn't mind seeing, like take a bunch of the Marvel characters that are still out there that haven't been used, and put them in their own universe. You know what I mean? Just what I'm thinking of is back in the day when Jim Lee was still drawing for the X-Men and all that kind of stuff. They
yeah,
kind of started over. They had X-Men #1. It's like, Chris Claremont worked on the story, but it's that great cover of Magneto. And
yeah,
it's got a
yeah,
whole, so it's that story, right? So the X-Men at that point in time, they were split into two teams. They had the gold team and the blue team,
right, yeah,
right? So that's my thinking for do that with the Marvel universe, have like a quote unquote blue universe and a gold universe. And right now we're in you can call it the gold universe if you want, though, with Captain America, RDJ, all that stuff, and then have another separate story where you can tell other Marvel stories. Can you do it with movies? I don't know, because like you said, it might confuse a lot of people.
yeah.
But I would love to see some Marvel characters that don't have to be tied into the quagmire that is the current Marvel universe, where this hero's here, this hero's there. Scarlet Witch, cast a spell on a whole town. Instead of trying to
Oh
slip
yeah,
them into that world, just have them, in their own world. They can have their own set of villains, their own set of heroes. And then when you're done with it, you can splash it all together. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we've been doing this for 20 years. Let's
yeah,
merge this world now. Let's merge these two.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I like with the Fantastic Four movie. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I'll watch it,
Yeah.
but it's also kind of a, the future punk is a little odd. It's a little. I don't want to say jarring, but it's like,
Yeah.
like, okay, this is the '60s with better technology.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then they've got that weird like robot thing that looks like a cassette player.
Yeah.
Yeah,
8-track player kind of thing. I
yeah, and I
want to
was
say that's an actual character, though. I think he's an actual character from the Fantastic Four,
oh,
like from
okay. I
back in
mean,
the day.
yeah, I never read Fantastic Four, so I don't know, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. But it's just
Yeah.
kind of odd to like, yeah, like they've got all this technology. They got rockets, and
Mhm.
you know, I
You
think
know what?
did
Hey,
they go ahead.
let me throw this at you really quick, because it might be more comic book accurate, right? Because the Fantastic Four, I mean, Reed Richards is like the smartest man on earth, kind
Right?
of
Yeah.
thing. So, and they did have like a lot of crazy, gadgets and lasers and quantum defibrillators that he was creating and making, and he did fly a rocket into space. So it's kind of like it's almost like it's more comic book accurate, because the
Yeah.
comic book
Yeah.
60s was definitely more advanced than
That's
the
true. Yeah. Yeah.
so maybe that's what they're going for, or that's the
Okay.
way you could justify it, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, do you think there's any possibility that this Fantastic Four is actually part of the MCU, just like in the '60s?
Yeah, that's a good point. And I'm only going to say No, because one, it would be really nuts if like this is that's always been there the whole time. Like everyone's running
Yeah,
around doing like nobody ever mentioned. Oh, remember back in the 60s they had a superhero team? Like this
yeah,
never
yeah.
came up.
That was another thing I was thinking. Like, is this part of the MCU or is it a different universe?
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
that does make sense. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's interesting too because in the Ant-Man movies they talked about like uh Michael Douglas, his character. Like apparently it sounded like him and his wife, they went on adventures like in
oh,
the
that's
50s or
right.
something,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know? So
I
I
mean,
was kind of interested in that.
they could throw us for a loop and say this is all still part of the MCU, and then we're like, oh,
Right?
okay, I see.
Just man,
I
I
mean,
mean like
if they did do that, we would just be like, okay, well, they,
okay, okay, all right then.
yeah. But then at the same time, so that family can interact with, that means they preceded, the
Yeah, yeah.
Avengers.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
And
By
then
quite a bit.
there would be no love. Well, no, I mean, throwing Namor into the whole thing is a whole
Yeah,
different
I was
thing.
thinking about that too. I was thinking about that too. Him and yeah, Susan Richards.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know what? Since we're on the topic of Namor, I don't think you. I don't know. I mean, I know that movie came out a while ago, but what was your take on Namor that came out of
Sin
the Black?
Amor.
Yeah, yeah,
Sin Amor. I give them props for a certain amount of creativity. Um, it's a very clever spin on his name, Sinamor, Namor, basically, and they've already said like without love or whatever. So,
yeah,
and I get that someone that is a fluent Spanish speaker might look at that name and kind of see like, oh, that's Amor is right
yeah,
there. I mean, I've seen Namor's name a million times. And I never thought like, oh, if you just cover up this in, you have a more. Maybe there's a something you could run with it and do with that.
yeah.
I would have liked to have seen um something more comic book accurate, I
Yes,
suppose.
yes,
Like I said, I
yes,
respect the creativity, but again, Namor is whether anybody realizes it or not, Namor is a kind of a foundational character for Marvel Comics.
yeah,
Just like, the Fantastic Four, maybe they're not the most popular right now or haven't been for a while, but uh I mean, they were there from the beginning. They were the ones that were hooking people,
yeah,
like the same way we were talking about you young kids, where were you back then? You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
the Namor fans and the Fantastic Four fans can turn around and be saying that about all these current Marvel fans.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like this is the OG stuff. So I would have liked to, if they had given the character more respect, I suppose.
yeah,
Not that, the actor, and this isn't anything about the actor or the story. I'm not talking about that, but just have a little more respect for the comic book character that,
yeah,
again, like I said, Marvel, it was foundational. So don't just, gloss over them like that.
yeah. And in agreement with you. Like, listen, I'm all for, like, if you want to change things up and you know change things to fit your narrative or whatnot. I'm
Hmm.
cool with that. I'm pretty open minded like that. But
Yeah.
when I looked at, when I saw it, I was like, that to me that's not no more. That I'm saying no more, but to me that's not the Submariner that I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not. It's not like I'm a big Namor fan, but even aesthetically, that's not he always had like a more like
With this
like
Atlantean. Yeah.
yeah, and like I always thought at I mean, like I said, I don't read too many Submariner books, but he had like the pointy ears
Yeah.
and more of like a almost an Asian like face. So I was like,
Hmm.
is that how all of them kind of look? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he
And
did have a bit more of a streamlined face. Yeah, I just
yeah,
kind of chalked a lot of that up to character designs from back in the, you know,
yeah.
40s.
And I and did Did the MCU Namor? Did he have the pointy ears? I can't even remember.
I don't remember. I'm going to say yes, but I don't know for a fact. I can't 100% picture it. Might be one of those,
Yeah,
what do they call it, a cognitive bias or something like that,
yeah.
or maybe I just
It's weird because I always kind of think of Namor as like, and it's weird for me to say like a buff um Klingon, like or not Klingon, but
oh yeah,
well, what's his name?
Spock
A,
or
a buff
yeah,
Spock.
A
Yeah,
Vulcan.
yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah, I know what you meant. I know what you meant. Yeah, like a buff. Yeah, that's a very good way to, yeah, that's actually a very accurate description, I would say. Yeah, just a Vulcan in a Speedo kind of thing, a
yeah,
Vulcan on the swim
exactly.
team.
I mean, I guess if Leonard Nimoy was,
That's so oh
yeah,
wow. Wow, oh crap.
not like
That
I
would have
mean,
been dope.
yeah, you
That
know,
would have been dope.
because to me that I always thought that he looks like Leonard Nimoy to me.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, Namor's character came out before Star Trek, yes, but no, you're 100% right. I mean, when you look at him, you like, oh, it looks like Spock kind of
yeah,
thing. No, you're 100% right. Oh man, I would have loved to have seen that. I would have
yeah,
loved to have seen that. Oh
yeah. I
wow,
mean,
man, just blew my mind
yeah,
right now.
it would have been like what? I don't. Does he have kids that try to act?
Oh, Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he has kids, but I'm thinking of William Shatner's son. I think I'm not sure actually because I want to say one of them. No, I think it is Leonard Nimoy's son. Did a documentary of some kind
Okay.
about his dad. Yeah. So kind of in the industry, maybe not an actor, but
Yeah.
kind of in the filmmaking
Yeah.
world.
Because I mean, Leonard Nimoy definitely had like I don't want to say eccentric features, but he looked, even without the pointy ears and the straight
Yeah.
eyebrows, his facial features were a little, you know,
Yeah, and that's great. I would imagine that's what I would want,
yeah,
or you would think that'd be great for an actor to have like some very some like you said, like distinguished features to them,
yeah, yeah,
those make great character actors typically. So
yeah,
yeah, I'd have been down for that.
yeah,
But yeah, overall though, I am excited to see it. I do want to see what they do with it. Like I said, we really don't get a lot from the trailer, but I am looking forward to seeing it. I think it's going to do well because people have been waiting for this. I feel like for a long time.
yeah,
See like a Fantastic Four movie that's a little bit closer to the comic book and maybe actually done by Marvel.
yeah, yeah.
So
We'll see. I
yeah,
mean, I'm gonna watch it. It comes
right.
out. It comes out San Diego Comic Con weekend, so I'm not gonna watch it till after the convention.
Uh-huh.
Just like Deadpool,
Yeah,
I watched it that Sunday after the convention.
right on.
So I'll watch it then, but I will watch it. Yeah. Um, I know we've been over an hour, so I don't want to take too much of your time. But I did want to ask you: are you going to watch Captain America this weekend, or when do you plan on watching it?
Oh, good question. Yeah, because like I said, it's my birthday weekend, so it's a
Yeah.
little hectic, a little bit. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm turning 51, so I'm gonna try. I was telling one of my supervisors at work. She's asking me, "Oh, what are you gonna do?" It's I'm doing this, and if I'm lucky, I'll be in bed by 7. So, but yeah, I wanted to watch it last weekend, but I just never got the chance. So if I don't watch it, I won't be able to watch it Sunday. I'm like 99% sure. And I might be able to find time on my actual birthday tomorrow or on a Saturday.
Yeah.
If not, I'll watch it on Monday. I'll watch it on
Okay.
Monday because I've got that day off. So I am
Yeah, I
110%
actually
gonna
do
watch it.
too as well. Where are you guys on a 980 schedule?
1040. What is it?
Oh,
1040?
10-4.
Or
Okay.
yeah, 410s. Yeah.
Yeah, 410. Are you so is your Mondays off then?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm on a 980, so my every other Monday's off.
Every other Monday. That's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool. There's
yeah,
nothing wrong with that. I like those
yeah, yeah.
every other days.
Yeah. All right, man. You want to plug your show? Would you guys have any topics that are coming out that you want people to tune into
Hmm.
specifically?
Let's see. No, I don't want to plug the show. If you don't know who we are by now, then don't worry about it. But so I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We love everybody. Yeah, with a quick plug, we're Geek Off the Street. You can type that into YouTube. You'll see us. We're at the Gots Pod. If you looking us up any other kind of way, like on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. We're on Spotify, anywhere you can stream a podcast, you will find us. Look into your heart and you will find us. Geek Off the Street is there. So let's see what kind of stuff we're going to be covering. I think I don't want to say like the typical stuff we're covering. I know we were talking about trying to cover some comic book characters spoilers, so to speak, or just some info. Like if you don't know anything about this particular character, we're gonna fill you in on them. So that way when the character does show up in the Marvel universe, you'll know everything going on with them. So
Oh, that's
that's
cool.
kind
That's
of stuff
kind of
that's
like a
in the
new
works.
segment for you guys, right?
A little bit. We did something like that once before with America Chavez.
Okay.
And so and she's doing the research into her. She's a very interesting character. There's no multiverse variations of her. She's the only one. And that's a very, very interesting thing to do in comic books, Marvel comic books,
Yeah.
because there's always another version of somebody. Like you said, like there's an evil Reed Richards. So the fact that they did something like that makes the character very, very interesting to me. And she's got all these different powers or whatever, but they didn't really. I don't know how much they got into it in Doctor Strange, Mom,
You know
Multiverse
what?
of
I
Madness,
I
but
completely forgot about that character because her
hmm.
power is traveling different universes, right?
Basically, yeah, she can open up different gateways or whatever.
Yeah. I I'm
Yeah.
assuming they've got to bring her back somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a unique concept. There's nobody else in the Marvel universe can say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No other character can say something like that. I
Yeah.
would imagine. Well, technically, there shouldn't be another Galactus out there, but there could be. Why not? Why
Yeah.
not? So
Yeah.
it's interesting. So yeah, but we're still covering anime. So if you're into anime, you can check that out. We covering TV shows. I think we're gonna be covering is it I want to say it's called Severance. Is that
Oh, the
the
one on Apple
Apple?
TV?
Yes. I haven't seen any of that yet, but I heard it's very, very good. So we're
Yeah,
gonna be
I
covering
haven't
that
either.
pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be covering Invincible. Once the show ends, we'll be talking about that. So yeah, we're all over the place between like anime, sci-fi, fantasy. I think on the next show coming up, if anyone's interested, we are going to be talking about we have a segment called How Have You Not Seen? So we're going to be covering something I believe Trent hasn't seen. Where's my finger? There we go. Something Trent hasn't seen is Predator 2.
Oh, wow, with Danny Glover?
Yeah, boy. We're covering Predator 2. So everyone's like, there's a Predator 2? There certainly is. Yeah, and Danny Glover is in it. Came out like I want to say 1990. So
That sounds about right, yeah.
yeah. 90s. What a great time. What an
Yeah.
interesting time. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's going to be the next thing we're talking about. How have you not seen? So if you have not seen Predator 2, how have you not seen it? And if you have seen it, then yeah, you get to chime in on that too. So you'll get it from both perspectives.
Alright, cool.
So
I'll definitely tune into that episode then.
right on. Right on.
Alright, man. Well, Mark, thank you again for being a guest on my show, our first one for
Anytime.
2025. I'm gonna start, trying to pump out more episodes. My hours are different now, so before I was having some crazy hours, like getting off of work at 8, but now
Hmm.
it's more manageable at 6 p.m. So
Nice.
yeah, so I'm gonna, I'm planning on getting more, you know, the same guests that I had last year. Hopefully they'll be able to come back on. But thank you again for coming back on. I want
You
you
got
and
us,
Trent.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got us, dude. You got
yeah.
us.
yeah. So hopefully the next time I get you guys, it'll be both of you guys, man.
Right on, right on.
All
Very
right.
good,
Thanks you
very
guys
good.
for everyone tuning in, and
Yes,
we'll be back probably in another week for another episode. Peace out.
sweet, nice.